Okay. Good evening, everybody, especially members of the public this evening. We have a session of looking at grants, but before we have a look at those grant applications, we have a public participation session. So we've got two groups here this evening. You're absolutely more than welcome to come and chat and discuss any thoughts that you have, and who you are and what you represent. So I understand you're from the Royal Artillery Association. If you'd like to take the floor, I'll just...
Yes, that's fine. Yeah. My name's Anne Knowles. I'm the secretary of the recently reformed Royal Artillery Association Oswestry and Borders branch. I believe the Royal Artillery Association original Oswestry branch closed some 15-20 years ago due to an older membership and declining numbers. They're a group of veteran gunners who live around the area, and we got together and decided we'd like to try and bring the gunners back to Oswestry with the links with K-Glass Park. Obviously there's always been a strong gunner presence in the area. So we've currently got 16 of us together. We had our first official meeting in February, and Frank and Angie from the Coach House across the road have very kindly let us use their premises as our meeting place. So we're proposing to meet on the third Sunday of every month. So it's going to be mainly social informal gatherings to try and sort of really publicise who we are and get people to come and join us. We're particularly interested in looking after the welfare and social well-being of any older gunners, those that might have become a bit isolated or have particular needs. We have a welfare officer who we've appointed, and we are able to signpost to various support charities for anybody that might need any help. We also are looking to be able to provide transport for people to get them to social gatherings, and also to a number of national events that take place from Larkhill, which is our sort of parent base where the School of Artillery is based. We're really pleased that we've got a couple of resident Chelsea pensioners, gunner Chelsea pensioners, that have come on board as remote members, if you like. They've had links to Park Hall in the past. So we're sort of testing the waters. We had our first fundraising session on Saturday, just gone, with a market stall. We have a couple of our ladies who are very good at crafting, and we raised literally just short of £300. So that's paid for things like this initial printing and advertising and stuff like that. We do get a small grant from Larkhill. We are a registered charity, and they are going to provide us with a standard and all the accoutrements for the standard bearer. We have been very involved in building up the Wrexham branch over the last few years, and we've gone from about 8 members to 50. So it's a lot of hard work, a lot of commitment, but it can be done, and we're looking to see if we can near replicate something in Oswestry. So we're looking for the possibility of grants later on to enable us to do some of this stuff that we want to do, and I'm here tonight to try and find out what the process is.
Thank you. I think I firstly want to just say the fact that you have kind of acknowledged that social isolation amongst older people is definitely an issue, and it's something that's really important. And the fact that you've set up a group of people with such similar life experiences, links to the local area, and you're thinking about welfare and social isolation is just so commendable. So thank you for that. I really do thank you. this evening you will hear us talking, if you're staying, about a couple of applications, and I'm sure Aaron will be in touch shortly anyway. We look as a council at grant applications at multiple times throughout the year.
Yeah.
We split them up.
Yeah.
So absolutely watch tonight, learn and get in contact with Aaron about the process, and then we would absolutely love you to come back to us again in the future with any thoughts or anything you've got, whether it's an event or whether it's a specific project that can support the work that you're doing. But thank you.
Okay, thank you. Can I leave these if for anybody that
Absolutely.
wants to?
Councillors, is there anything anybody wants to say? I know it's not an open discussion, but
So just from a process point of view, obviously we're at the end of the financial year. We will be putting a revised application form up on the website sometime early in the new financial year. It sets out the process as I explained, and there's some timescales around that. Just need to review. I need to review with members how often we bring grants to you, whether it's 2 or 3 times a year, just to have a think about that. But yeah, probably decisions in September, October next year for the first round.
Could I just mention as well that one of the things we were very keen to do was support the local town with any events that you might have. If you want standard paraded, we also standard bearer will attend funerals, military funerals as well. So we were very keen to sort of carry on what we've done in Wrexham really and bring that same model here.
thank you for
Madam Mayor, sorry. So that's great news, because I think as part of the Remembrance Parade, I think it'd be good to involve you as part of that. So it might be worthwhile you dropping me an email. My details are on the website, and I can pick up some of these issues with you.
We usually attend K-Glass Park on Armistice Day, but our main thrust is either be at Wrexham near Parade or down at Hyde Park Corner in London for a big parade. But obviously, being our first year, we would very, very keen to be involved with.
Definitely. Thank you. I really appreciate your time. Thank you. Matthew, do you want to talk or do you want to observe? That's absolutely fine. That's absolutely fine. Grab a space, just press your button on the right-hand side until it goes red, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, no problem.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
So Matthew Edwards. So I'm the chairman at Morda Football Club, Morda United Football Club. For now, until I probably get voted out at some point. So I'm just here, as a previous speaker, really to see how this grant application commences, but certainly also to share sort of the forward planning, I suppose, the future for Morda United Football Club. I know that it has been gone defunct, and we're resurrecting it now, ready for the new season. There is a lot of work that's already been gone on at that football club, mainly by my friend Nathan. I don't know if anyone's gone past there at all or seen anything, but certainly he's put in a hell of a lot of hard work, and it looks a hell of a lot better than it did. There's still work to be done. Certainly the changing rooms do need a lot of work to be done to them to bring them up to scratch, be that just initially getting them watertight, but also there's a few holes in some ceilings there. Certainly at the moment, the plan is this season to be a men's team, but we're not just going to stop there. It's a community football club. That isn't just going to stop with there's a men's team, that's that. We all know that how important it is now, and how widespread it is now, that certainly having a women's team and girls teams, and certainly then also youth teams along with that as well, and who knows, veterans as well in the future. We have got a small committee at the moment, and certainly looking to expand that very shortly. We have an AGM next month, and we had an open evening last Friday, and certainly there was a very good discussion over how this would work, how it would build from there, and certainly the excitement of bringing back Morda Football Club as well. But I keep on saying Morda. It isn't just Morda. Our big idea is that this is Oswestry's football club, because Oswestry doesn't have a football club on that grassroots level. So certainly it's that wider field from there. So I see where,
Thank you.
certainly where that went
Yeah,
from there.
and thank you for resurrecting it. And I know it's only literally been kind of got opened over the weekend. On
Yeah,
Friday.
so sort of Nathan and another friend, Chris, met in November and then took it from there. Certainly I know that may have seen that we have also got the meat man, so Phil and Tom on board as well on that to certainly assist us on this journey.
Excellent. I think, like Aaron said earlier, I think emailing through to Aaron as a starting point
Yeah.
would be a really good idea. Aaron.
Yes, if I come in, so I did have an email over the weekend from the club, from a representative of the club, which I failed to respond to yet. So apologies. What I was going to say in that response is that the Town Council provides funding to the Sports Forum as a sort of first line for grants that are sports related. So we probably encourage you to go and speak to the Sports Forum in the first instance. I think the details are fairly easily found. So the Town Council provides them with funding to then distribute across to clubs. So maybe your first point of call. Otherwise, as with the previous application, details available on our website in the new financial year.
Brilliant. Yep, so the website is just ospreysportsforum.org.uk. Have a look on there. Okay. So it's just like an extra system so that we can encapsulate sports activities in the area. So. Brilliant. You're very welcome to stay for the meeting, or you're very welcome to leave at this point. It's entirely up to you. Okay, you're very welcome. Thank you. Okay. Right. Unless we have anybody else, let's move on to the agenda then, councillors. So, apologies for absence, please, Aaron.
So apologies for absence from Councillor Moore, personal, Councillor McKinney, personal, Councillor Walker, work, and Councillor Goodlad, illness, injury, both.
Oh dear. Councillors, all those in favour of accepting those apologies? Thank you very much. Disclosure of councillors' interests of any matters in relation to the Code of Conduct. I will move from my left to my right. Anything that anybody wants to declare in relation to this? Brilliant. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, we move on to grant application 3A, Our Lady in St Oswald's Catholic Primary School. I want to go from the chair and say I would like to propose that we offer the existing balance of our grant budget for this round for the benefit of Our Lady in St Oswald's Catholic Primary School. I was incredibly heartened and impressed that they brought their newly formed staff council, student council, thank you, get the words out, and they talked so passionately about what and why, but I'm absolutely happy to have a discussion about that. Jonathan.
I would like to second that because of the way that they are willing to recycle and pass on their books for others to enjoy, and for the role that they're playing in making it a real hub of learning and knowledge in Oswestry. So I'd like to second that, please.
Thank you. So I've got a proposer and a seconder. Any other comments, queries? Mark?
Yeah, thank you. Fully supportive, yes. Could I suggest that we couch it in terms of, yes, we accept your request for the 800 and would like to offer for furniture or whatever we think extra. So we are covering the request. It's just that I'm concerned that if every applicant asks for X and we give them X plus 5 or 2X, then it may not set a good precedent for the future. Whereas we heard tonight from the young people what they're after in terms of the books, great, but also they did mention the extra stuff, which we might be minded to actually cover as well.
I think, we could talk about, it was quite clear that the children valued the kind of environment of the library as much as the books, so being able to support something that increases inclusivity and accessibility can only be to the benefit of the young people at school. Fiona, then Duncan, sorry. I don't know which one it is, sorry. Duncan.
Speaking of Mark's time, I'm no difficult about giving extra money, but I do think we know it to the public to say what that money's being used for. So I think we can say, you can have your 800, you can also have additional 400 or whatever it is, but please tell us so we can tell the public what that additional money is being used for, because it's not in your application. You've only asked for 800. So I'm saying, you know, I just think it's balance, isn't it?
Yeah.
No harm in giving them more, but we owe it to everybody else to say, well, what did they do with that extra?
Yeah.
That's what it was used for.
Agreed. And I think the head teacher extended an invite for councillors / mayors to go along once once the redecoration and etc. was done. So I think that would be a real positive.
You could also invite them back. So we always ask for a report about, you know, how have you spent the money, to go full cycle and support their learning. Invite them back to a council meeting.
Agreed. Agreed, yeah. Councillors are happy with that? So we've got a proposer, got a seconder, additional comments, councillors, all those in favour? Unanimous, thank you very much. Right, we move therefore on to the Lights Out Trevonnan grant application. Comments, queries, thoughts, councillors? Mark?
Thank you, Chair. Obviously, the grants pot now is empty,
Yep.
but this is certainly a worthwhile thing to come before us.
Yep.
And maybe it's that the grant pot isn't the right thing to look at
Yep.
in order to try and support it. And I'm sure that we can probably find some things in the budget which might allow us to support this particular thing. And I'm sure the town clerk can make some suggestions as to how we might proceed with this.
Aaron, is there budget away from the grant budget?
Yes, I think we provide a what we call commission activities budget that allows you to make in-year decisions around things that you'd like to see but perhaps haven't thought about it. And the budget setting process, I've always tried to build that flexibility. So there is some money available in this financial year and also a significant more amount next year. So if members were minded, we'd probably pull £2,000 from this year's budget and the remainder from next year's budget.
Okay. It would be certainly useful to be able to engage in the event and support the event and suggest ideas for something specifically, given our application for the Town of Culture and our interest in tourism and supporting local events and locally run events by other people other than the Town Council. James?
It's just a caveat of if the event doesn't go ahead, that there is a clawback to get that money. So it's not a matter of it's just going to an account. The event does have to happen if that money is going to them.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. Councillors' thoughts on how we engage with the event if we are giving the full amount from the type of budget, Jonathan?
Perhaps we could also add that in return for giving this amount, that we perhaps sort of work closely with them and help shaping it so that it can be a real community event rather than just being a project that we give money to, that it can be something for the whole town to enjoy as well. It might even attract people who don't even know about Wilfred Owen to take an interest as well.
Okay. Might we suggest... Oh, Duncan. After you.
I was going to say the predictable that we should say to them that we want to do this in partnership.
Yep.
And I think that there should be someone from this body nominated by council, maybe at a later date, to be our representative to it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. I like that. Can you put that into a form of words, Aaron?
Yeah, I think obviously that's down to Chris and the team to decide whether they want the town council to be involved. But given but certainly the commitment to work in partnership to deliver the event and encourage them to use our branding and the fact that you're funding it as part of the promotion, and then to discuss the opportunities of what that might look like.
Yeah, I think explaining to Chris that it's coming out of a different pot and that's why there's a slight change of focus, I think would be beneficial. Okay. Okay, well, I'm happy to propose from the chair then that we offer the full amount based upon the two different pots from this year and next year. I've got seconders in either. I'm going to go with Claire Jonathan, just because you're going to get plenty of opportunity. Seconded by Claire. Claire, so all those in favour? Unanimous, thank you very much. And then the last part of the agenda is the report from Oswestry Sports Forum, which obviously we mentioned for you, Matthew. Something that was highlighted to us about 3 or 4 years ago now, I think. And we decided it would be appropriate, given the vast numbers of sports groups that they actually support. They've got 26 that they mentioned that actually train within the town of Oswestry itself, as a starting point, that we provide a grant to them to be able to then support other people. Colleagues, any comments or questions or anything with regards to the report? We are being simply asked to note the report, but just is there anything else that you want to highlight or suggest or talk about? Mark, thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Chair. I actually enjoyed reading through this report because it drove home the fact that a grant donation from this council is being spread over such a wide variety of sports. It's not just football. I'm not saying that because football's not particularly good, it is, but it's also the rugby, it's the fencing, it's a whole variety of sports. And hopefully we might well be considering next year, in next year's budget, to have something similar perhaps, but that's for a later date to discuss, obviously.
Yeah, I think in the past we've definitely talked about the benefit of having a networked approach to managing smaller sports clubs, because they don't always have the admin capabilities or capacities or the kind of the links and the networks to kind of help them. So having something like this is always beneficial. Richard? That's fabulous. Thank you. Okay. And we've got, yeah, they've got the next community games has got another really interesting person that's being that would be there to support and represent Oswestry as well. I can't for the life of me remember the name though, but I was really impressed with yet another well-known Olympic sports person for Oswestry representing our games and then internationally as well. So thank you, colleagues. That is therefore the end of the meeting this evening. An interesting one. Thank you for engaging. You want to abstain on the last one? Okay, we're simply being asked to note the report. So colleagues, all those in favour of noting the report, and one abstention. Thank you very much, everybody, and good night.